Make sure it's going. All right, we're good. I'm just gonna go ahead and start.
All right, let's do it, Bubba.
Ooh, that music can only mean one thing, and it is time for the Open Micers Extra episode, Patreon-funded extra episode. My name is Jason Robbins.
I'm Jacob Craig, and I'm very excited to be one of the only people to be able to join you for this cursed extra episode of the podcast.
The universe does not want this to happen at all.
Is it the universe, or is there some kind of conspiracy with the internet companies going on today, Jason?
I don't know, because first off, this was supposed to be a fully loaded episode with trivia. Our producer slash unpaid intern. BJ DeBlow wrote a bunch of trivia questions for us, and we were going to have Mr. Wally Phelps, former guest on the show and friend of the show, on from the Dead Game podcast, was going to be here, and we were going to do pop culture trivia. And BJ wrote, like 44 questions for us.
Yeah, I asked him, hey, BJ, do you think that you could maybe write us some trivia questions to do on the show? You know, pop culture, general knowledge, that kind of thing. And he wrote us 44 trivia questions about Star Trek Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Star versus the Forces of Evil, and all kinds of other shit that we just had no goddamn clue about.
It was going to be fun, though. And Wally Phelps has joined the feed again. And we didn't get to that part, but Wally's internet took a big dump on him right when we were about to go with the episode. So apparently the gods are angry. The seas were angry that day on the internet, my friends. I can't hear you, Wally. I don't know what's going on. And now BJ's in the chat room.
Nobody can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. BJ is in the waiting room. Coming in.
Oh, he's in the waiting room, not in the chat room.
He's coming in. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know.
He's gonna join the call, and he's gonna be like, "Oh, my version of internet is too old."
He's apparently running AOL 1.0.
And Netscape Navigator won't work.
I don't know. What are we supposed to do here, man? Like, we're just trying to make this happen. It's a Patreon-funded episode, and it's just falling apart all around us.
I feel like if he gets in here, we could do maybe his 5 best questions, and then we can all just smooth go 0 for 5 and have to do it again with, like, different questions. Because we're going to not know any of what he wrote at all.
See, because BJ is into way different stuff than we are. What was some of the stuff he's writing questions about?
Look, I'll read you the whole goddamn list right now.
Because I was supposed to do homework and read up on some of this stuff, and I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I'm too old.
I'm getting too old for this shit.
Oh, well, he's got DuckTales on there. I think I would have been in some good... I would have done good on some DuckTales trivia.
You're probably talking the reboot.
Oh, yeah.
He would be talking about the reboot. See, there's a generation gap as well. You guys take me for fucking granted. All right? Because we're literally the same age. But I'm more into the shit that you guys are into. Like, I understand the Wayward A-Team reference, okay?
Yeah, but you didn't know anything about the Fall Guy when we did that commentary episode.
Because no one remembers that. No one's going to know anything about the Fall Guy.
Well, the listeners,
completely upfront about this. I heard of the Fall Guy. I've never laid eyes on anything Fall Guy related in my life.
You guys were apparently not avid TV watchers back in the 80s.
what else was I going to do in the 80s? Yes, I was.
Well, some of the listeners, please help me out here and let these guys know that Fall Guy was a huge phenomenon back in the 80s. Please.
Let me see. Hold on a second. The Fall Guy. Hold on a minute. Oh, never mind. I had to restart my phone because it also died.
What?
Yeah, my entire internet died.
What, did your hamster die? Running on the wheel outside?
That's not too far off. Well, I'm not going to go about the atrocities that I have going on in my backyard, but something did happen and it stopped working. Now we are looking up the Fall Guy. All right. Fall Guy.
You're terrible at Googling, Wally. Hurry up.
I have to wait for my phone to come up. Okay, so this happened in 1981. Oh, it's because I was 2 when the show was popular.
Yeah, but there were
You were
reruns.
2 and Jason was 22 already.
Shut up.
Like the last episode was on when I was 5. No, I was 5 when the last episode aired.
I was 4 when that show was on.
And you know that there are a lot of 5-year-olds who are all about some Fall Guy.
Oh, dude, Jason was 5 years old with a full beard, drinking black coffee, chain smoking Seneca Red 100s, watching the fucking Fall Guy change his jacket
I was
every 5
into
goddamn
in
minutes.
19. Let me look at the TV schedule from 1985, which is like my memories didn't even start forming until then. Let's see. TV schedule.
So BJ's full list of the 44 questions included Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Star Trek The Next Generation, which I'm sure some of us could probably get some of those questions.
Yeah, I've only ever seen The Next Generation. I never saw a single episode of Deep Space Nine.
Me neither. Gravity Falls was I've actually seen all of. DuckTales.
That show.
Gravity Falls is fucking amazing. DuckTales, Steven Universe, Amphibia, The Good Place, and a band called Steam Powered Giraffe.
Right, which I've never heard.
Sounds like a sex toy.
So let me tell you why I've never heard of the Fall Guy. Because it came on the same time as the A-Team.
There you go.
Like the same time.
Well, how did I watch the
Highway to
A-Team
Heaven,
too?
which we also watched. The Cosby Show and Family Ties.
What?
And Knight Rider. There's zero chance I would have watched that show.
It was on the same time as all those shows.
Yes, on different... No, I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm looking at the wrong schedule. Let's see. Fall Guy. Oh, I know why. 2020 came on at the same time.
Oh, so you were watching 2020?
No, I'm just kidding. It was the Cosby Show and Family Ties. That's what we were watching instead of the Fall Guy with the rest of America.
Yeah, but how did I watch those shows too if I was watching the Fall Guy?
Because it was canceled before they finished with Cosby.
And honestly, some would argue that the Cosby Show aged better than Fall Guy did.
I mean, as badly as it aged.
It did not go away into obscurity the same way. It had a bit of a resurgence due to some events.
Hey, some of us are jacket enthusiasts, okay? And we like watching 45 jacket changes per episode.
I knew this because the one note you had during the Street Fighter commentary was, "That's a nice smoking jacket."
I'm a jacket enthusiast. I like a good jacket.
Oh, dude, I love a good jacket after a long day. You know what I'm saying?
After a long day, you like to take off your pants and jacket.
Oh, yeah, good Blink-182 album.
Yes, it is.
2001.
Oh, what a good reference.
So do you guys miss appointment TV, or do you like on demand? Or because like the way they're doing The Mandalorian these days, I mean, you don't have to be there at a certain time, but it does come out week to week. Do you think that's better to see things week to week, or do you think it's better to binge?
I prefer week to week. That might be a very controversial statement,
I like it
and it
because it
might
gives
be
me
because I'm
something.
an old man.
It gives me something to look forward to.
No, I
Well,
also prefer week to week.
it's not so much it gives me something to look forward to. It's that we're all talking about the same episode at the same time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, because if you're binging something, uh, somebody is going to be in a different spot than you are, and you can't talk about it, So if we're
Right.
all watching the show at the same time, then I can discuss it with you. The only problem I have with the week to week on the streaming services is because of the fact that people still watch it at different times of day. So I know not to talk to Jason in the morning because he refuses to wake up early enough to watch the show before work.
That would mean me having to
With
wake up at like 5 in the morning, and I'm not doing that.
the show's 30 minutes long. No, that's really. Whenever I was looking over my Facebook earlier, it was each thing that something that happens on this week's Mandalorian that was spoiled by variety. Variety.
Yeah, that
Oh
sucks because
I'm
no.
I
like,
didn't know anything about it, and I was all excited when I texted you earlier. I was like, "Did you guys see the thing, the cameo?" And you were like, "Yeah, it was spoiled for me." I was like, "Oh, that sucks."
yeah, I saw it, but it didn't have the same amount of impact it would have if I would have seen it naturally in the wild.
Yeah. BJ is in the actual chat room. He said, "I think having to wait builds more tension with the stories." I agree too.
Oh yeah. Blue ball you for a whole week.
Yeah.
It's still like that too with pretty much any show you watch on a network. If you don't have regular TV, you get it next day on Hulu. So it's like, oh, the new episode of The Masked Singer comes out on Thursday. So I gotta avoid spoilers for a day so I can find out who the fucking gargoyle is. You know what I mean?
I
It's a
take
lot
it you
easier
watch.
for me.
I take it you watch The Masked Singer.
Oh, I watch The Masked Singer and I keep a little notebook with my guesses in it.
That is dedication.
Yes,
I
it
just got
is.
another message that said my internet is unstable. I swear to God.
Okay, all right. Well, if you drop out, you drop out.
Hey,
At least you
I'm
were here.
unstable too, Bubba. We're in this
We're
together.
all unstable, my
He
friend.
dies, he dies.
I could go at any moment.
I swear, I hope that this is just a one-time thing because I work on this internet. You know what I'm saying? So,
Hey, but it is the
Yeah.
internet that of the company that you work for. So if it goes out, it's their fault.
it really
And then
isn't
they're gonna
because they
make
don't
Wally
have
fucking
service
fix
in this
it.
area.
Then they're
Yeah,
just-
it's not my employer providing me internet here.
treason it is then.
Yeah, apparently BJ is running a potato for a computer, and in the
Right.
chat,
He has a potato clock.
Right.
With version 1 of Zoom.
Right? His chip is a Triscuit. That's
Just
the,
get a Trasket.
right. But it's quad core, so it's fine.
So I went out to the juke joint last night and did some comedy out there.
how was
and I enjoyed it. It went pretty well, but I think the worst feeling in the world is when you have a set and then you have like a really good set, and then afterwards like a bunch of first time like hacky open micers come up to you and they're like, you just got to keep going, man.
What?
You just got to put in that work. You'll get there. You know what I mean? Take it from me.
Wow.
It's like I've been doing this for 6 years and I did a solid 15 minutes of well-crafted material, and you think that I'm like on the same, you think that we're the same thing? We're not. I could destroy you.
To be fair, we haven't been on stage in a while.
Yeah, that's true, but I mean,
So is there a
You
whole
don't-
new crop of new open micers that go to the juke joint?
No, there's only like 4 comics, and they were from Mobile.
Oh,
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't hear a lot about the Juke anymore. The only place I ever hear it from is from the guy who runs the place and who runs the mic. And it the only thing I hear are his jokes. So that's about it.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't
it
know
was.
anybody that still goes, to be honest, now that I think about it.
Yeah, I don't think anyone really is. Because, like I said, it was me and then a bunch of hack open micers from Mobile.
I'm retired. I'm not
Yeah, dude, I'm
really.
trying to get to 65 so that I can retire with my $25 comedian pitching.
yeah, no
Right.
shit. You get a whole. You get you guys. You get 25.
You guys are getting paid? I don't know.
Uh,
It was a lot of fun though. But at the same time, it's like you don't watch someone's Netflix special and then think like I could have gave him some notes on this. You know what I mean?
Well, I do, but
Right.
I've done that many times before where I'm watching it and I'm like, oh, too bad they're doing jokes about this because I could have gone off on this.
Yeah.
yeah,
I think it depends on who's special too, though.
That's true.
I still haven't seen that new um, Chris Rock special. I kind of don't want to. I heard it's not great.
I started it literally today, and I watched 30 minutes of it, and I laughed maybe once or twice and turned it off. I was like,
See, that's what I've
I'll
heard.
finish it
It's like
later.
there's not really a lot of laugh out loud stuff in it, and then it turns really mean at the end.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, I
you
mean,
know,
I get it, but
he could have just slapped him in the face, and instead he decided to be mean to him.
yeah.
But I feel like it seems like the best comics from the last generation, like Dave Chappelle, Bill Burr, and Chris Rock, they know that they're getting money printed and they're just getting Netflix specials whenever they want it.
Yeah.
So it's like they're just gonna kind of preach about social issues for an hour and make a ton of fucking money and have critics
Right.
rave reviews about their new special without a single fucking joke in it.
You know, that is the one thing that really bothers me about late stage comedians is that it always ends up about something that
Yeah.
is. I mean, because even at the end, and this might be a controversial opinion, but even Harlan, who was putting out a special a year, basically, maybe even 2 a year toward the end of his life, he was doing more social issue commentary than he was actual jokes at that point for a while. There were yes, he's always been in that ballpark, but jokes were there.
Yeah.
And that's what I think it is. It's like there's a point where the comedian ends up just talking about the stuff that he believes without any kind of real commentary to it or being able to bring anything to it new or to turn it on its head or anything like that. It's just these are my ideas. Don't you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, because no one's forcing them to be funny anymore. No one's forcing them to put jokes into a story. They can just tell a boring story about like I went to the mall the other day and women be shopping, and they don't have to have any punchline because they're who they are.
It's not because you talk about Chappelle, you talk about Burr, you talk about me with Harlan. I know stupid what's his name, Jim Brewer's doing it now.
Oh yeah, Jim Brewer's been gone.
Well, he's off the deep flipping end. Oh, I read his book a couple years ago, his autobiography, and it is awful. He comes off so like he comes off I've also read the autobiographies of Steve Martin and Martin Short, and great comedians. He writes in a way that brings his aura up above what Steve Martin did for himself, and it made me angry. He did. I don't think he's doing it on purpose, but it's like, here are all these awesome things I did. Yeah, but did you?
Right.
You were very dependent upon the people who you were surrounding yourself with in order to get to this position, and you're not even that funny by yourself.
I was gonna say, I've never really been a fan of his. I never really thought he was particularly funny.
Yeah, let's get him on the pod.
It's everyone around him that's funny.
I mean, I liked him in Half-Baked. He was funny in that, but that's because everybody else was funny around him too.
Yeah, well, it's like he was acting off of Neil Brennan's script.
Yeah.
So right, and Neil Brennan's a genius when it comes to comedy. So it's like, what are we even doing here with that? Why do you think you're so much? I don't know. If you read it, it will feel so arrogant, like you're talking, like it's a dude trying to sell himself to somebody he's trying to date. That's what it sounds like, and it's just like an arrogant piece of trash. And I didn't like it one bit. It starts out with him dropping names, like, I was in this hotel, and Chris Rock walks by, and Seinfeld walks by, and I'm like, okay, yeah, these are the people I would like to hear about. But he doesn't actually go into anything. It's just like, they were there. Okay.
Yeah, it's just because they were there. They don't know Jim Brewer. He didn't interact with them. He was just like, I laid eyes on Jerry Seinfeld one time.
I mean, they did have interactions with each other. It's just that they weren't particularly interesting enough for him to put it in, other than to say, hey, I know these people. Right. That's how it felt to me. While Steve Martin talk more about his process and what inspired him and what he was thinking when he did these things that he is so known for. So, like, I decided I was going to do this thing, but it didn't work. So instead I did it this way because I felt that this. And it's all of that, him going, it was work, it was a process, it was fun, and it was successful, but I still strive for more. I want to keep making myself a better person. You don't get any of that from Jim Brewer.
I mean,
you get.
He might have had Steve Martin also might have had a ghostwriter helping him too, like getting that type of stuff out of him, because that's what a lot of people do for autobiographies. And Jim Brewer seems like the kind of guy that's just like, I don't need to do that. I'll do it myself, and then just write a bunch of just shit on the paper.
Spot on Jim Brewer impression, by the way.
You know who else is tangentially related to comedy, who wrote an autobiography that did not have a ghostwriter, that is better than Jim Brewer's? Mick Foley.
Oh yeah, dude. I opened for Mick Foley on the 20-year anniversary of his autobiography coming out. He did a whole stand-up tour, because when he initially released the book, it was in conjunction with a stand-up tour of him telling stories that he writes about in the book. So his autobiography is entertaining enough to translate to a 2-hour show, by the way. Mick Foley does 2-hour shows. He'll do like an hour and 15 of material and then do a Q&A. So there's enough.
That book is so good in all the ways that you would want it to be. I mean, he talks about everything from when he lost his ear to, and that was a very well written story, to working on Big Money Hustlers with the Insane Clown Posse. It was wonderful.
Yeah, and that stuff it's so interesting, and it doesn't even make it to the stage show. It's like he has enough interesting material in that book that you can read the book and get the whole experience, or you can go see a stage show and he's telling all kinds of other crazy stories about wrestling in Japan and all kinds of stuff. And it's actually like funny because he experienced funny things and he's just saying what happened.
Yeah. You know what? I found out not too long ago that Henry Rollins was the ghostwriter for David Lee Roth's autobiography back in the 90s called Crazy from the Heat. And that book's funny just because it's David Lee Roth and he's a psychopath.
Nicolas Cage is the only ghostwriter for me.
Interestingly enough, I read Sammy Hagar's autobiography.
Yeah, I read that one too.
That's actually a really good one.
There's one part of the David Lee Roth autobiography that made me laugh, like seriously laughed out loud. He said he was walking down the street one day and he came across Eddie Van Halen and Valerie Bertinelli back in like 1989 or 1990. And he hadn't seen him for a few years, like 5 years or whatever. You know, they had the feud and everything. They hadn't talked to each other.
Yeah.
Ran across them, and they're like, "Hey, how you doing? You know, it's been a while." And it was when she was pregnant with Wolfgang, and and they told Dave like, "Yeah, Valerie's pregnant with she's pregnant." And Dave goes, "That's great. Who's the dad?"
That just sounds like a joke that somebody would tell to their friend.
Yeah.
You know, that's perfect.
I don't know. I was going to ask you guys, too, before we left. Have you seen the new Mark Maron stand-up on HBO that just dropped about a month or so ago?
I'm too poor for HBO Max.
I've got to watch it. I used to get it for free whenever never mind, I'm not going to go into it. But I didn't know he had a new special. I need to do a better job of advertising that because I have been on HBO to watch The Last of Us. So
yeah, I didn't know it had dropped either. The only reason I knew it happened is because of another podcast I listen to. They do a recommendation section, and they talk, and somebody was talking about it. So I watched it that night. I like Mark Maron. I like his style of comedy. It's pretty dark. And this one is like kind of super dark. And he goes into where he talks about like over COVID, his girlfriend had passed away and how he had to like find humor after that. So it's kind of heavy to watch, but I do recommend it.
Fun for the whole family.
Yeah, it's fun for the whole family. You know, death. No, you know, everybody likes that.
It was like Patton Oswalt's first special after his wife died was fantastic.
Yeah, I thought that was okay. I tried to watch his last one. I think I got like 20, 25 minutes into it, and I was like, I'm done. I didn't really laugh at anything.
Well, about the one where he's mourning his wife?
No, he's had one after that.
Yeah,
talking about Jason.
No, I'm talking about this last one he put out.
Oh, okay. Okay, I haven't seen it.
Wally, you need to watch it because I feel like, personally for me, I think it's Patton Oswalt's best special. And without giving anything away, he does a solid 25 minutes on clown pubes. And so I need you to watch it. And give us your opinion because Jason just doesn't think that's as good of a bit as I do.
I mean, I'll have to see Patton has bald clown pubes, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't know what the special's called, but it's his newest one that came out. It should have come out last year.
Yeah, take a look. I haven't watched a whole lot of comedy specials. Most of the comedy I consume nowadays is on TikTok because apparently they know that I like watching stand-up comedy.
Yeah, I watched that last Bill Burr special too, live at Red Rocks, and dude, the audio on it is awful. Like, why would you release this? It sounds terrible.
And the comedy was bad too. So what are you doing?
It wasn't that great.
You might as well just listen to OpenMicersPodcast if you want bad audio and comedy.
Yeah. Hey, I'm the one with good audio here, Mr. I'm going to podcast.
And I'm the one with good comedy.
I'm gonna podcast from a bombed out bunker in the Ukraine that you come from every week.
Look, I've fought with my fiance for months about cleaning out this goddamn room so I can podcast in it, and she finally fucking did it after living here for almost a year with me. So I don't want to hear shit about podcasting from my little bunker.
Hey,
okay?
you know, you could clean too. You know, you're not.
I was thinking the same thing.
No. Here's the thing. I would love to, but every time I come in here to clean, she says, "That's all my stuff. I don't want you messing with it." So I'm like, "Then you fucking clean it," and she won't.
I like Wally's face right now. Unless he's frozen. Are you frozen, Wally? Yep. He's not. That's
I'm
all.
frozen too.
I'm lost in the woods.
All right, gentlemen, we're at 30 minutes. We've hit our allotted time for the extra episode. We were going to do an hour if we had the trivia, but what can you do? The internet pooped out, and BJ needs
I can't
to...
believe all these technical difficulties.
BJ, if you're listening, go ahead and upgrade that Commodore 64 and that hamster on the wheel. He's still in the chat room, so he knows.
It'd be a wonderful investment because I'm telling you, this computer, even though it has put me into crippling debt, is worth it just for all the things I can do on it that my old one couldn't.
So yeah, BJ, upgrade that Commodore 64 or the Casio calculator watch you're using, and we'll do it again.
Instrument T1 calculator.
We'll do it next month. What's that little? Well, I know you're an unpaid intern. You're supposed to learn how to make money for us.
Learn how to make money. We'll start paying you.
Yeah, learn how to make us money, and we'll start paying you. That's how this works.
He's having to stream the show on a speaking spell. What are you talking about?
What was that old calculator that had like the little professor at the top of it? You know, with his little cap.
I was a Texas Instruments.
Was it?
I don't remember the name of it, but I was a Texas Instruments.
I had one when I was a kid. I don't remember the name of it though.
I think we all had one in our age group.
Yeah, we were probably giving them for free at some point at like school or something.
Right.
Did you have a Merlin? Did anybody here have a Merlin?
Are you talking about Merkin?
No, a Merlin. It was like this red phone looking thing. Like I used to pretend it was a cell phone when I was really little. Like it looks like a cell phone, but it's like a game.
Jason,
Google
when you
it.
were really little, cell phones didn't exist.
Yes,
Looking
they
it up.
did. They looked like bricks.
They didn't exist. So did you subconsciously invent cell phones, Jason? Is there something you need to tell us?
I did, and me and Al Gore invented the internet, sir.
Hell yeah. Jason was little running from fucking pterodactyls holding a rock up to his ear saying hello.
Merlin. God. Do you know how many things come up when I search for Merlin? Merlin game?
Yeah, I guess Merlin Electronic.
Found it.
See,
Birkenstocks.
It says game console, but that does not.
Look, porn.
It
showed us
was. Hold on a minute.
porn. Did the porn pop up?
No, it wasn't a pop up. It was just there.
It wasn't a pop-up. I got bored halfway through. I needed to give myself something to do over here.
No, I was posting it. Okay, so we.
I shared it with
I don't
my
know.
friends.
You can't see that. No, you can't see it. Oh well. But it almost looks like a tic-tac-toe. With several buttons. It does look kind of like a phone. It says new game, same game, hit me, and Trump turn. Hit me. Huh.
It looks like Chinese checkers.
A little bit, yeah. It's got like a little dial pad on it.
It looks like I could call Zordon on that fucking thing.
Exactly. It looks like something out of like Flash Gordon. I had one. I got to look at my mom's house, see if I still have it, and I'll bring it for show and tell.
You can buy one off of eBay for $9.99.
No, I'm good. I already got one somewhere. I'll bring it for show and tell next time.
Ooh, we should do a show and tell episode. That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we could do that as an extra episode. Do show and tell.
Yeah, bring on some kind of...
Like some crazy thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, just like the like the most random or like the most interesting or the craziest thing that you...
This is a Stadia controller.
What do I have within arm's reach? Oh, I have Donkey Kong here.
I have Monopoly Ultimate Banking.
We're all just showing what's at arm's reach.
Yeah.
How bad do you cheat in Monopoly? I'm a fucking crook. I hide property cards in my fucking pant leg.
Still?
Yeah, right now, dude. I always got one taped up there just in case the game of Monopoly breaks out.
They said that they were making a Monopoly movie at one point. And I said, well, if at the end of the movie, we all leave the theater angry and not as friends anymore, then it's nothing like the game.
Yeah, right.
Did they already make that movie? It was called Wall Street.
Greed is good.
Greed is good.
No, because this is real estate we're talking about. Interesting piece of information. The reason why Monopoly is such a shitty game for keeping friendships is because it's designed that way. The original version of it had two different versions of it. One of them was Monopoly, played the way we play today. But the other one was where you equally distribute everything, and basically you win when everyone has a good bit of money.
So communism.
Exactly. So that's a very interesting thing. I always thought that was interesting.
I think the reason that it doesn't, it breaks up friendships is because nobody plays by the actual rules.
Oh, dude, no, y'all can't be like, nobody reads the fucking rule book for Monopoly.
Have you ever read the rules before for Monopoly?
The rules are what everyone at the table agrees upon. That's why different countries have different laws. There are no rules. We fucking agree.
If you were to play by the rules,
have some sort of you have to have a Congress meeting before.
We have to have a congressional hearing before we play fucking Pokemon Monopoly.
If you were to play by the actual rules of Monopoly, the game would only last like 30 minutes to an hour.
No, you're the kind of person who plays Uno the wrong way, aren't you?
It's not. Look it up. Prove me wrong.
Well, it says that. I've never had a game of Monopoly go less than an hour. And that's with playing by the rules.
That's because
although
if you play by the rules,
there are versions of Monopoly that do go that long. Because a lot of people don't realize that these different versions of Monopoly have different rules in a lot of cases.
Right.
So, for example, the Fortnite version of Monopoly requires you to try to eliminate your opponents, and you can build walls to keep them from doing it. And that's pretty interesting. The Animal Crossing version is you are trying to get resources from other people's islands, and whoever is able to buy more decorations for their house by the end of the time limit wins. So, it's a lot of cool things.
Well, I have Mario Kart Monopoly, and we should do an extra episode where you guys come over. We'll play Mario Kart Monopoly. We'll film it and see if a fist fight breaks out.
Oh yeah,
I have the DLC for it.
I guarantee you that fucking table's going up, Bubba.
And on that note,
we played. Hold on, we played Cheaters Edition of Monopoly. There's a Cheaters Edition of Monopoly, and everyone got mad at me for cheating.
Cheating and Cheaters Edition.
Because I would just reach across the table and take some money while no one's looking. It's Cheaters Monopoly. Anyways, let's end the show.
All right. Well, before we get out of here, Wally, tell everybody about the new podcast you got going on.
It's called Dead Game. and I do it with Carlos Longoria. I am the Rampage.
The Rampage.
And we try to resurrect either dead or languishing game franchises. And the way we do that is by talking a bit of the history of the game and then what we would do with that game if we were in charge. The last episode was, I don't even remember what the last episode was now that I think about it.
It was Punch Out.
Punch Out. Punch Out was the last episode. The next one's Burnout. So,
I used to love Burnout.
Yeah,
right.
Burnout was great.
And we want to bring it back. So if you want to bring back games, take a look at the list of games that we've already done and tell us what you would do with them to bring them back. So that you can find that at Dead Game Pod all over the place. Just search, you'll find it.
Awesome. What about you, Jacob? You got anything to throw out there before we leave?
Yeah, man. So with this being our extra episode for the month, I'll go ahead and read off our guest list for the month of April because you guys earned it and it's already all booked up for us. So we've got April 3rd, Will Loden is coming on, who's a comic who is touring the South down here for a little bit. Joe Pontillo on April 10th is going to come promote his new comedy special coming out. Will Merrill is coming on April 17th to promote his special recording happening in Lafayette at Club 337. He's going to be recording the special and then releasing it at a later date. And then on April 24th, Galen Nash will be on the program, who is a national headliner based out of Austin, Texas. So we've got a lot of fun, regional, and nationally headlining fellas coming through the show.
Awesome. As far as my stuff, just go check out my other podcast, Nerd Cave Retro, if you like retro video games. And we talk about the retro stuff over there, the retro video games. So go check us out at Nerd Cave Retro on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, wherever, and wherever fine podcasts are given away for free. So if that's it, we're going to go ahead and walk out the door. If you want to email us at OpenMicersPodcast@gmail.com. Our Linktree is Linktree/OpenMicersPodcast. And you can join the Patreon and help us do these shows every single month at patreon.com/OMPodcast. And go get some coffee at brescoffeeco.com. Use the code OMPodcast to check out for 10% off your order. And we'll see you guys next month.
I'm flipping the table on this podcast.
Yeah. All right, that's it. Thank you for hanging out in the chat there, BJ. Sorry, things didn't work out, but we'll do it next month. And if you start Zoom now, it should be open for you by the time we do next month.
Oh, what happened to my internet there? It just like it gave me that warning, your internet's unstable, and then boom, I was gone.
That's
like what happened.
Who do you have?
On in 60 seconds.
Spectrum.
Oh,
I'm on the Spectrum a little bit too.
Yeah, you are.
Well, we don't have AT&T available over here for whatever reason. So,
all right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and stop the stream. Thanks for watching. Thanks for. I'm gonna put this on YouTube. Thank you, YouTube, for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.